Community is everything. We're proud to support ours. Through partnerships with fellow community leaders and organizations, we're helping our neighbors access essential resources and services so we can all thrive. Learn more at bofa.com/community.
Good afternoon. Couple things. One, that presentation about Detroit was amazing, so thank you. As someone who lives in the city, raising my kids in the city, I have my businesses in the city, I wholeheartedly agree. Can we also get a round of applause for Shirley and John for the volunteer work they've done on this research and report with the governor? You know, Dee, I got to, something's been bugging me. I've been hearing a lot of things, so I just wanted to clear this up before we get started. Someone said that you're considering running for mayor of Detroit.
Well, you got to live there, don't you?
Yeah, you can move.
Oh. I still live in Ferndale, and I still love it. I love Oakland County. Not true.
Okay.
Not true. Let's squash that.
All right. Seriously, though, this is the Detroit Policy Conference. I'm not sure how I got the cat from Oakland County, but we are friends, so I agreed to hang out with you for a little bit. But talk about, you heard what Jeanette talked about, and we talk here at the Detroit Regional Chamber. We represent an 11-county region. We're embracive of obviously the balance of the state. But for the state of Michigan, and definitely for this region, Detroit is key. So from your position as Oakland County executive, talk about the importance of the success of Detroit to the success of Oakland County.
Yeah, so clearly, and I think people that have heard me talk or know me at all know that I've said from the very beginning that I want to have a more collaborative approach with the other leaders in other counties and cities in the region. I think that's important. I don't consider Detroit or Macomb or Wayne County or Washtenaw County as our competitors. We're competing against other regions in the country. And we're getting our butt kicked in some ways by some regions that, in my humble opinion, we shouldn't be losing to. And it's because we don't have our collaborative act together. So I think that's really important. I mean, you talk about the growing our population. It doesn't matter if Oakland grows, if Detroit and Wayne and Macomb doesn't. We're in this together. And so this is a perfect example of where we need to act that way. Now, but I also want to say, I was elected by the people of Oakland County, and I have a responsibility to them. And I get,
now you sound like Brooks.
It's got to go both ways. I mean, I didn't see Cranbrook or the Holocaust Museum up there. I didn't see some of our amazing parks up there. And I realize Jeanette is a wonderful person who represents the city of Detroit. But there's a lot of assets in this entire region that we need to be promoting, and we're in this together. And I just want to make sure people understand that as well.
I agree 100%. One of the elements of the report speaks to, I'm going to quote, creating thriving, resilient communities that are magnets for young talent. This includes developing regional, well-connected public transit systems that allow residents to get to work, school, and amenities. Lloyd brought this up in talking to Shirley. We just can't seem to get this together. I believe, this is my opinion, not the Chamber's opinion, that in some or large part it's rooted in race, but that's not for today's discussion. But you, unlike your predecessor, have been very embracing of cooperative transportation within the region. So what do we need to do to make it actually happen?
Back in 2002, when I first ran for county commission and was successful, one of my main points was we're the only major metropolitan region in the country that doesn't have a mass transit system, and we need one. And here we are, 20 years later, still talking about it. It's a tough issue, and I've discovered in my current job that it's easier said than done, but I continue to believe that that's the case and that we need to do it. One of the things I discovered in Oakland County is that we need to get our own act in order as a county as well. We were an opt-out community, so each city could decide whether they wanted to be in the transit system, and we're talking bus service here, not mass transit. They could be in, they could be out. We had this Swiss cheese approach. So we put it before the voters last year, whether they would support having the entire county be in a transit system, and that passed overwhelmingly. So now we've got every community in Oakland County in the system. And the beauty is, when you do that and when you offer more services, people respond. Our ridership in Oakland County over the last year is up 20% in terms of our transit services. When we did the fast bus up Woodward, ridership on that line alone doubled in the year since it was launched. So when you offer good transit services to people, they will get used. So we are now in a position, I think, as a county and as a region to take the next step. And I continue to work with the mayor and the other county execs and the other people in the region, and we will do transit because it's critical to our growth, it's critical to our economic development. Kids and young people want transit services. They don't want cars. I think one of the previous speakers mentioned that.
So can we dig a little deeper?
Yes.
Okay, because great answer. And so I think that we know that Mayor Duggan is supportive of this. A lot of the residents in Detroit would love to have a seamless, easy way to get to the jobs that are in the surrounding areas. You have been supportive of this since you got into this position. There's been a vote, so now you're backed by your constituents. What tactically, what else has to happen for this to actually come true?
We have to get our act together as a region because we need to apply for federal funding, frankly. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's where the money is. And we have an opportunity now with a transit-friendly administration and a Department of Transportation secretary that is very friendly to this. We need to have our act together as a region. We missed out on the Amazon application because there were a lot of deficiencies in our application. It's been the same way in transit. So we're beginning to apply for federal grants, and we need to do that collectively. Oakland County and Detroit and can't do that on their own. And so
okay, can I ask you a question
we need to
more
get
directly?
the money.
Is Macomb County, in your impression and knowledge, supportive of this?
Yeah, and I know Mark Hackel is the executive is going to be on later.
So we should have no problem then.
But let me just be clear. Let me just be clear. I think the key to transit in this region is going to be this. Instead of a large, complex map of routes and price tags that we overlay on the region, we need to get started. We need to do this in a phased approach. We need phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We need to get started, and that's what I think Mark has been supportive of that approach.
Wonderful. I'm going to quote again from another element of the strategy: to build a lifelong education system focused on future-ready skills and competencies to thrive. This includes obviously making higher ed more accessible, includes a Michigan education guarantee and affordability. In Oakland County, you've launched an initiative called the Oakland 80. What is it, and is it working?
So Oakland 80 is a huge initiative of ours, and let me just say, I totally ripped it off from the governor. So if her folks are here, I'm giving you a props. Because when I first became executive, she gave her the first State of the State address, and she said 40% of people in Michigan, adults in Michigan, have something more than a high school diploma, have a post-secondary degree or certification. And that's not good enough. And as a state, her goal is to get to 60% by 2030. So she calls it the 60 by 30. So I went back to my staff and said, what are we doing in Oakland County? I agree with her. I think that's critical to our future success. And I found out we were at about 61%. So I said, well, do we just rest on our laurels and wait for the state to catch up? Heck no, we're Oakland County, and we're going to lead the state if we can. So I gathered education leaders and others together to say, what can we do to move the curve, to bend the curve, if you will, in Oakland County? And we got them together, and we had a really robust conversation and talked about some strategies that we could do. And we decided that it was realistic that we could get to 80% by 2030, and that is our goal. And I'm proud to say, by the way, that early last year we took our first pulse check since we've been doing this, because we're 3 years into this now, and we're at 69%. So we've moved the needle from 61 to 69%, and if I have my way, we're going to get to 80% by 2030. That's the goal. It's critical, not just as a goal, but because young people need more than a high school diploma to be successful, and Michigan needs them to be more successful.
Talk about the importance of our region being considered a tech hub for companies to come and relocate, and what are you doing in Oakland County specifically to attract those types of businesses?
Yeah, we've really leaned in on advanced manufacturing. We have thousands of advanced manufacturing companies, and part of our economic development strategy is to help them be successful and grow. We literally distributed, instead of cash, we gave these companies 3D printers during COVID because we saw that they were behind in the technology piece of this. You're going to need to know this technology. technology, and we're going to give you some of it. And it's been game-changing in that industry. And then the other piece of this is the talent that they need. And so trying to get skilled people up to the advanced manufacturing and technology skills that they need to help these companies be successful is really where we're leaning in.
And talk about hospitality, the importance of restaurants, bars, you know, adjusting policy both countywide and in the cities to ensure they're able to thrive.
Yeah, I mean, that's all the quality of life stuff, right? I mean, if we do hear one thing from young people about Oakland County, it's, you know, it's kind of, to some of them, it's a little boring, right? They want thriving, walkable communities. I was the mayor of Ferndale. We tried very hard to make that a fun and walkable and thriving community, and I'd like to see other communities in Oakland County do that. That's why I'm so high on our downtown Pontiac project. They are our county seat, and the county is going to move employees back to downtown Pontiac, and we're going to help invest in downtown Pontiac to make that our thriving urban area, because that's what younger people are looking for now.
Agreed. So you've read, I believe, the report that was put out, both the long form as well as the one-page summary.
And we want to be a welcoming place for everyone to succeed if they want to share in the prosperity in our county. And we're now the #1 county in Michigan for Ukrainian refugees who have fled that country to America. And many of them have come to the United States and to Michigan, and more of them have landed in Oakland County than in any place in the state. And I'm proud of that, and I welcome them, and I want to see more of that in Oakland County, and I think the region needs to see more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I would say we have a minute and 48 seconds left. You seem to be a little upset that Jeanette got so much screen time to talk about Detroit. So just imagine that this is 1,000 people in their 20s, and you got 2 minutes to tell them why they should come to Oakland County.
Look, when people visit Detroit or move, Metro Detroit, move here or visit here, they don't care where these artificial boundaries are. And I don't think we should be so focused on these artificial boundaries either, and I don't want to be that person. I think we have to thrive or not as a region. But it's regional, and so, you know, I looked at the list of wonderful museums there, and again, I know her organization is focused on the city, but, you know, we got Cranbrook, and we've got the Holocaust Museum, and amazing places, and amazing parks, and amazing downtowns, and that are interesting places in their own right, and it should just be part of the larger narrative. When I'm traveling and someone asks me from where I'm from, I'm the county executive, and I don't say Oakland County because they think I mean Oakland, California. I say I'm from Detroit. I consider myself a Detroiter, and I just hope that we remember as a region that as Metro Detroiters, we're all in this together. All of us, and I'm sure Mark will say the same thing about Macomb and the other folks, they all have assets that contribute to the quality of life and the success of this region, and we need each other. And when we understand that and we put that face forward, I think we can be more successful.
So that was very politically correct.
Was it?
But I gave you your shot. Ladies and gentlemen, David Coulter, thank you.
Community is everything. We're proud to support ours. Through partnerships with fellow community leaders and organizations, we're helping our neighbors access essential resources and services so we can all thrive. Learn more at bofA.com/community.